When I was at Harvard, I was only reflecting the other day that they talked about what a typical day's like for you or a week as a leader, and they really put you in a different angle and asked, what would you like said at your eulogy about you as a leader? And it's all those words like care and considerate, those words that have got meaning to your heart. And then you ask yourself, well, what was your day like? Where did you make impact on people at that level as well as doing your job? You know, talking about stoppages and zones and those sort of things. So it really squares you up when you have that deep reflection. So it's something that you've got to focus on.
It sounds like it's a bit of a focus on people and individuals and understanding them. I understand you drive the players home at different stages. How does that go?
It's probably the other way around. Ken Polson has given me a lift home and young Liam Stocker, so I guess me a chance to have a chat.
How does that happen? Is it just you just teed it up to...
I just put a bit of pressure on them and say, you drive me home, buddy. No, they live in the area, so it was good. But I use
so you weren't making them go miles out of the way?
No, I look after them. But the good thing about it is that they just chat about footy, and I find out what they're liking, not liking, probe questions, see how they're going as a person.
They must have been nervous jumping in the car with the coach, surely.
Well, actually not. All
right.
I smile like you, so I ease the tension a bit.
Times have changed them bolts, let me tell you, because there's no way known I was jumping in the car with any of my coaches to drive them home.
They're probably a bit taller and more intimidating than me, I would have thought.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all, mate. Every coach has got that intimidating factor. Don't worry. So, in terms of that, then players walk past your door in the offices there at the Blues. Do the ones hesitate, or are they more than comfortable, the whole group, to come in and have a chat on where their footy's at?
Oh, listen, it's always an open door policy, and I've tried to rotate 5 players a week to my house for a barbecue so they can see me being a dad and being a little bit more normal, if that's the right word. So I've worked my way through the list. I'm in the 30s now, nearly through them all. But hopefully that allows players to walk through the door a lot more easily. You know, the guys have been around a long time. It's simple, but for the first and second years, they're still finding their way, and it always takes a bit of time, but hopefully it's a comfortable enough environment where they want to do that.
Have you gone in number order, or have you been a bit more strategic in getting a couple of young blokes with some senior blokes, at least to hold some conversation while they're there?
I've tried to keep it pretty random, other than at least one person that they know, so that allows them to keep a conversation.
What's your favourite book, and are you reading at the moment?
Yeah, I chip away. I always like the Malcolm Gladwell books. You know, there's Outliers and David and Goliath. There are a couple, because being short and a little bit of a scrapper, mate, I probably like those that come from a different angle. That's why Gibbons probably resonated with us. He just works so hard, been persevering for a long time. So I like books that sort of talk about passion and perseverance versus just talent.
Are they the type of books then that you always use to relate back to the playing group? Do you deliver those sort of messages through what you read?
Yeah, we do. The big thing is talent's obviously a thing that's spoken about. It's this magical thing that you're born with. But when you dig really deep, those that we see that are so talented and gifted, they've been practising, even if it's in a fun environment, for many, many years. So they're the messages we're trying to push, that, you know, it doesn't matter what number you're drafted, it's always an earned right, and you've got to work hard.
Exactly, and that's what it comes down to, doesn't it? You can have all the talent, as they say, in the world, but you've got to try and get that work ethic a part of it. So is that what your driver is, to just try and get that out of these players to consistently back up session after session? Yeah,
we can't get too far ahead of ourselves in terms of focusing on end results, and our players right now need to know that whatever game they're in that week, don't worry about the other week or where we're going into the future. Is the most important moment. It's not even that game, it's that contest. And if we can keep it really narrow, our players will learn those habits. You've got
a varying age dynamic with your list. It's a developing list, that's for sure. How do you go with the communication of to a Mark Murphy to a Sam Walsh?
Yeah, Murph and Simo. I think Simo's probably debuting when some of the boys were born.
Yes.
But gee, he's still going strong, isn't he? But to that group, what they've done so well, you know, there's Murph and Simo, Daisy, Matty Cruiser. We've asked them to share their stories, what worked, what didn't work. Being a high draft pick, if you had your time again, what would you change? What would you continue to do? And those stories that just happen through conversation are invaluable.
Do you find the young guys embrace the way that they talk, or do they look at them sometimes thinking, what are you guys on about? We do it a different way these days?
No, I think they do, because they've got so much respect. When you got someone like Simo and Murph that have played, you know, there and abouts 300 games, they're going to listen. And they're really receptive, so they're starting to own their career.